One of the most influential yet overlooked historical figure ever is Admiral Zheng He, or Zheng He, a Chinese explorer and diplomat during the Ming Dynasty, around the early 15th century. His diplomatic voyages are legendary, commanding massive fleets that sailed throughout Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, East Africa, and beyond, expanding trade and cultural exchange between China and the world. And his fleets were massive, right? I mean, this is very well documented and known that his boat itself was several times larger than that of Columbus, for example. His fleets was even more exponentially larger than Columbus's fleets.
Sure.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, that's true. And so even though they were not doing anything aggressive, but however, these grand fleets and these voyages did created a revolutionary kind of influence in the international trade and the foreign relations. And so after that, all the technologies, the maps, and the knowledges passed to the Europeans and just ushered the age of discovery, and accompanied by the European Renaissance and, of course, the awful colonialism. But I decided to study this very important ancient world map called Kunyu Wanguo Quantu. In English, it means the overall maps of all the countries in the world. And this map was published in 1602 by an Italian priest, Matteo Ricci, Li Ma Dou. Chinese people know him as Li Ma Dou. In this map, I found out actually this is not a European map. This is actually a map of Chinese origin. So I was able to investigate over 500 geographical terms, about half of the geographical terms on that entire map, all the geographies and histories. So I got the conclusion that Europe was explored by the Chinese in the Southern Song dynasty. That was even before Zheng He. Africa was made final exploration by the Zheng He people in 1433. And New Zealand, Australia, Land of Fire, Antarctica, these were all explored by Chinese before, no later than the sixth voyage. Some are sixth voyage. I can quote you some preliminary result, though it's not published. Usually people keep silent, because other people may take the result and publish it. First, when we read history, we have to read correct history and not falsified history. So I feel that the Western history has not been honest about the Zheng He's voyages. The age of discoveries was not a discovery by the Europeans. But we know the Chinese history record, in the feudal systems, a lot of things were not written. Right. They were left out of the official record. And even with the Zheng He's fleet, the main fleet may have gone back to China, but there are many squadrons. Right. These squadrons are free to do what they like. And I was even raised, especially mention about T.C. Bell's work, He is in his 90s. He spent all his retirement life. He is a Navy man and a seaman, starting from 15 years old, he was at sea, But he's a maritime engineer, and he knows survey work. So he was able to find shipwrecks in New Zealand. 78 of them were Chinese shipwrecks. And over 20 of them were of the dimension more than 100 meters. Not only that, he also found the Chinese gateways and have a rock art that can be traced back to the Song dynasty. Song dynasty was almost 1500 BC or 1700 BC. Exactly what I'm doing today, or what I'm doing, all the research work I have done is trying to tell people, hey, Chinese people started, no matter who started, but Chinese people seem to have started global exploration before other countries. And that shows we have had shared history. We have had the same destinations. T.C. Bell showed that even 5,000 before today. there was already Chinese presence in England. Okay, and then at the beginning of the century, the era, I mean about 44 AD or so, the Roman people were collaborating with Chinese, building the so-called Roman Wall or Hadrian's Wall. You know, so these collaborations started a long time ago.